will no longer receive ad revenue. As of March 23, 2022, we will no longer receive ad revenue for any video on this channel, even though YouTube still sells advertising on it. The reason, as we've been told, is because we are a channel that presents historical content as opposed to original content. We refuse to be blacked out. We need your support. Please buy Reelblack merchandise from the Reelblack store. Make a donation through PayPal or Cash App, or by joining our Patreon so that we can have the resources necessary to keep the channel growing. Please join our mailing list by sending an email to realblackinc@live.com and follow us on social media at Reelblack so that you can stay informed of future projects created outside of this platform. Reelblack 2 is our backup YouTube channel that carries new original content plus classics from the Reelblack Vault that will be monetized. We ask that you also subscribe there. Thank you. And I was muted. Hey, Daoud. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's Mike from the Reelblack Podcast, and welcome to our Monday evening edition. And with me, I am joined by Eric Payne.
What's up, everybody? Here we are again talking this talent. What's happening with you?
You're breaking up a little bit. Hopefully that won't be an issue for the show, but you froze there for a second. It's all right. Now I know you're in Jersey. Were you in New York in time to get the Biggie limited edition Metro Pass?
No, but I heard I had some people in Brooklyn, and they were saying, there was lines out the subway because everybody wanted to get that Metro Pass that day.
I want one too. I wonder what they're going for on eBay right now.
Yeah, right.
A fully loaded card. That's a collector's item that's never happened before.
It is. I got one when Obama was elected president.
Oh, okay.
One of those Metro cards they were giving out in DC and stuff.
Were you at the inauguration?
I was.
Okay, so was I. The first time.
Yep, the first one.
2008.
I'm over here in the private chat. I'm looking for it. But what's up? Oh, what's up, Dan? Sorry, y'all. I was in the private chat. I had the wrong thing clipped on. There's my people's. What's going on, everybody? Oh, man. Dropping everything. My house backed up, man. I got stuff everywhere. Excuse me.
That's okay. The room is filling up. We got Daoud here.
What up, D?
Let's see. Superstar saying hi. BJ.
Yes, sir.
B1 Black Butterfly. I like the name.
Yeah.
Revolutionary 2. I guess as the room's filling up, we'll take a roll call. Where are people watching from? What's the weather like? What's the price of gas? So let's take a roll call real quick as we get into it. But Biggie's birthday, it's hard to believe. It's been so long since he passed, and that he would have been 50 years young this past weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They were supposed, I think, my sister was saying, we went to the city for an event, and National Hampton Alumni Association had our first annual Blue and White Awards, and they were honoring, amongst other people, my good friend Ruth Carter. So went over there in New York at a nice little venue. Saw a lot of Hampton University alumni, and it was really nice. We were looking for. Gas is crazy, huh?
5:39. I think it's 4.
4 something over here, Jessica.
Yeah. But I like your haircut, Jessica.
Yes, too. Yeah, but they was gonna say. My sister was saying it's supposed to be the crown or something was gonna be reflected on Empire State Building or something like that. I thought they were supposed to do.
Hey, Soroya. All right,
Yeah,
we have a good mix. This
everywhere. It's, Taroya. That's crazy, right?
that's cheap gas. Memphis cheap gas.
It's 460 something up here.
Yeah, I think I paid $4.90.
Really?
Yeah, I'm in Delaware right now, so Philly gas is more expensive.
They want us all to ride bikes, Mrs. Matthews, I think. Or, that's a way of, it's geographical redlining, right? If you
Yeah,
move,
I think we hit a record. Supply and demand.
yeah, 339. You can
Texas should be the cheapest gas. We'll have to ask our guest how
superstore,
much gas is where he's at.
superstore. You got a primary there, huh? Y'all got a primary tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. What's going down with y'all?
Yeah, let's Texas
Yeah,
425.
yeah.
Oh, hey, Mrs. Matthews. Mrs. Matthews was part of Saturday's chat. So yeah, that segues right into the primary elections. I mean, we had elections last week. Dr. Oz, I think, won in Pennsylvania for the
Doctor
Republican.
Pennsylvania. Yeah, I don't
Oh, wait, has Pennsylvania happened? Pennsylvania happened. But,
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the prices a little bit to check. But
okay.
go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you about.
Yeah, I'm not following Pennsylvania's elections that closely, but they said
Yeah.
Dr. Oz is running for Senate.
Right, Dr. Oz running for Senate, and it was that was where that sister was too, conservative black woman who was at the insurrection, and it was kind
I caught the pictures of her. Yeah,
on the other side of not believing the election was stolen. But Dr. Oz, who would have thunk it? That's really what tripped me out. Who would have thunk Dr. Oz was going to be? Just goes to show y'all, just because they act friendly. And Oprah put Dr. Oz down, right? I mean, she obviously was a good doctor, and he caught her attention by what he was preaching at the time. But it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's a bit crazy. Crystal Adams is watching.
But yeah, that's true. So that would be, that's very interesting because during that time, Mrs. Matthews, as you know, the boycott, the Montgomery bus boycott, right? But it was an exercise in black economics too, in terms of how the people were choosing to spend their money, right? That was the whole thing because it was bringing the transportation system down there. It was bringing the transportation system down there to a standstill because a lot of their business came from the black maids and the black workers. What do we call union working or minimum wage workers? Hourly gig workers, whatever they're called now. But back then, those were the people that ran the economy as we do now. Evidenced by the brother who organized Amazon over there in New York. But we realize that we have that power, right, to direct our funds and our economic resources. That's why now I try to pay attention to black products. We have a lot of, there's websites out there where you can buy black and find a lot of those products that are made by black businesses, and we need to support them. And I think that that example is one that gives us part of the blueprint. You guys, as you guys, I'm sure you all know. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here. I know everybody tuning in here. We kind of realize the things that we need to do. We just need to enlighten the other people.
Exactly. Do me a favor, Eric. Just tap your mic real quick. It sounds like you're coming through the other mic. You're coming through your computer mic.
Oh, hold on for a second. I thought I switched over.
All right, I'm gonna make it disappear for a second. So Eric is fixing his sound. He might have to disappear and come back. That's why I took him away. But we are taking calls on this topic. Can black men and women unify? And our guest, who's coming in about 10 minutes or so, is a filmmaker who's got a movie called Staycation. His name is Ali Abdin, and he's from Houston. So please hang out, stick around until 8:30 when we get our guest on. But the question, once again, Is do we have a thumbs up, Eric? Did you switch it? Okay, so you're back.
How about
Much
that?
better.
Much better.
Sounds much better. Yeah, I think so. Tap it. Still, I mean, I can hear you fine, but I don't think the mic is working.
Maybe I got the wrong thing with the jig plugged in here. It usually works, right?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I can see you sound just as fine. I'm just saying the mic is not hooked up.
Like that, man. I'm trying to be heard.
Sound good.
How about now? Any better?
It didn't change. You have to change it in your settings.
I did change it in my settings.
It's set up for mic now.
Yeah, USB.
Okay. All right.
I plugged in.
Okay, that could be wrong. I mean, you sound fine. We got
How do I sound now?
It's. I heard a little click.
I just turned the volume down a little bit. It was kind of all the way up.
Okay, I'm not sure.
The volume.
We've got a caller.
Caller.
I9 Poison. You give a thumbs up if you're ready. Right, he's playing with his twist. Or she. I can't. I could just see the hair. I'm sorry.
What was the photograph?
Hey there.
What's up, brother?
How's it going?
All right, we're trying not to have a loaded conversation, but we have a filmmaker on who's coming on who made a romantic comedy. So the question today, a romantic drama, the question today is, can Black men and Black women unify? What are your thoughts in terms of this?
That's hard to say because I've been sitting down taking a piss lately and letting my woman stand up. And see, I don't wear no pants. So by me not wearing no drawers and stuff, I tend to leak in my pants a lot.
Right.
And I'm just trying to see how does the administration part work for a man.
Wow.
If I'm listening to the woman's, if I'm going by her rules, or how is she administrating the pain?
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
We tried. Too much vulgarity for us. I'm sorry, man.
My ears.
Sorry about that.
But as we were saying,
it's gonna be that. Can you imagine if we stuck to the original topic?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Dowell. Next. Hey. It was
we tried. We're trying.
I don't know, Jeff. Comedic whatever. But anyway.
Okay. All right, we'll go to the chat. To Roya. To answer the question of Black men and women get along, yes, but both parties have to communicate and listen to each other and let.
Hold on. It wasn't Chris.
Oh, Chris is on?
Chris Dragnet, that was not the filmmaker. So, you know.
No, hey, Chris.
Go ahead.
Okay, Martha's got. Martha, yes, we can. I still love my Black brothers dearly, and I have 3 sons, and I know what the Black man experiences, and we must be there for them. I love no matter what they choose to love. Color does not matter.
You know, okay. I think I agree with you too. But I like Black love, but I agree with you. Color does not matter. But I think the issue really is not can we unify, right? I think the question is of course we're going to unify, but how we're going to work through that and how we're going to have the most productive and loving relationship, right? So, I mean, we've always, Black man and Black woman, you know, and that's centuries deep unity, you know, and pride for the race. So that, you know, the question spawns the discussion that we need to have, right? And how best to go about it. And it's good to hear both sides. But communication, I agree. Someone mentioned communication. That's a big thing. Especially you dudes out there, sometimes our communication, when the women say they want to talk, I know y'all go, oh, shit. But
yeah, I95, he jumped back on. You had your shot. You got a little vulgar for us. We want to be able to stay on. We want to be here next week, so we can't have you on this week. Sorry about that.
Comedy show. Yep. Yeah, it is. That's hence the discussion, right, Chris? I believe. And talking about the factors, I think is the thing that you know. I mean, people have been trying to work on that for years. I mean, that's just not black men and women. You know, it's men and women, but the necessity, I think, is much greater. You know, is much greater than on our community because of the oppression that systematically faced. Yeah,
Right.
It is.
And we talk about the reason we talk about this within the context of motion pictures is very seldom do we get are we able to model ourselves in healthy relationships if we base it strictly on what we get in motion pictures and television and social media. So I think it's a conversation worth discussing. I'd love if some people would jump on, especially once our guest joins us.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, it's you got to see the movie that's spawning this discussion, Staycation, by our brother Ali. Ali is a brother I met at the Clubhouse platform and the No Egos room, which is a room where a lot of people that work in the business or people that are trying to learn and network with people who have a little bit more experience are in there. Our brother Bob Sumner is in there helping a lot of people and giving advice to a lot of people who want to go down the comedian route. And so that's how I met this brother and just try to help him. He's put in the work and done this film and got it done and has a number of them. And, we want to help him to do it. So that's the subject of this particular movie, that he's done.
Yeah, so we want to give a shout out to the No Egos room on Clubhouse, where both Reelblack and Eric Payne are members. So if you're on the Clubhouse platform, please follow us both, and also make sure that you subscribe to Reelblack too.
So Hood Servative. I was with you right up until that last little, till you add modern female attitudes, bro.
Oh wait, what? Somebody starting something? Hood Servative?
I'm trying to catch up with y'all. I'm not. Everybody's saying a lot of things I want to comment on, but that one in particular.
Okay, let me read it. So for those who are like stepping away, they're driving or something. Yeah. Unify around what exactly? Most Black people don't like racism, but that doesn't seem to be enough to continue to tie us together. But then you add modern female attitudes and desires, and it's trouble.
Man. Well, I mean, hey, that's your opinion. I feel you.
No, unify around healthy relationships, focusing on growing families together.
I agree.
Focusing on, I guess, B1 politics.
Were you?
I lost my cursor.
Oh, life is easy. So yeah, I agree with that too. No welfare checks, keep me out of the household. Yeah, you definitely can't put fingers on each other. You're right, Chris.
Wait, hang on. Let me get the other cursor. This thing is acting up. I can't even switch over. I got to step away.
I got you. Mike is gonna get the other cursor, but y'all, the real discussion I think is, that we open up the lines of communication, but it's more, I think, interpersonal. I don't think it's so much what makes it racial, Black man, Black woman, that our foundation is because, our history in this country, right? So that's what race.
Technical problems this morning, also.
Oh, really? But that is compounded, right? The fact that of our oppression that we get in this country, that compounds the interpersonal relationship between men and women, right? Because we got that extra added shit that we got to deal with, right? So I think what it is basically, to me, relationships, right?
Absolutely.
Mars and Venus kind of concept, Mrs. Yeah.
Mrs. Matthews.
Hood mentality.
It's. I'll tell you the truth. It's tough, Eric, because women want to be in control, but then they're genetically hardwired to follow a dominant alpha male. So
is that correct, y'all, ladies?
You can't help it. It's biological.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the past.
So-
I would say
sure.
that dealing with our past, part of what happens in this movie, and I think I could say one thing: there's been a betrayal, and someone has yet to forgive the other person. They keep bringing it up, bringing it up after time has passed. And some people go really crazy about this, like, damn, how many times are you gonna make me apologize? But I saw something about someone's, was it Ayana, with Dr. Ayana Van Zandt, or Ayana, excuse me. Ayana said that people who have, if you've betrayed someone's trust, you have to do whatever you have to do to get it back. And it is understanding what caused them to lose the trust in the first place. And sometimes it does take that work and understanding. But there's also a middle ground of bringing in and throw it up in someone's face. But you have to do the work, right, to prove to the person, like, there's a certain amount of work, and there is an end point that you can get to where the person is going to regain the person's trust. But if they're always repeating that, that means you haven't done the work to regain that trust, or some of the same behaviors continue. Yeah, I agree.
We got a nice pot stirring here with these comments in the chat. It's going to be exciting. Hopefully, Ali comes on right at 8:30, because he'll be jumping right into the middle of this, right, Eric?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but we hope you'll see the movie too, so you can kind of see, it's a romantic comedy, but some of these issues are brought up within it. That's
Okay.
true, Mrs. Matthews. Some don't know what the work is, right? And I assume you mean both men and women, right? All of us together, right? Because we all, I think it. That was a Dawood statement, but I would say a victim.
Yeah. What is victimhood mentality?
Just a victim mentality. Maybe you meant Dawood. I mean, we understand what a victim mentality, right, is, I believe. Jessica, I mean, I don't know if our understandings are the same. Mine is someone who always, well, I think, is there kind of like a generic that we all understand? Someone who always plays the victim or allows themselves to be the victim?
This is a good comment. The system wants us at war with each other because together we are magnificent, but we women must be humble. That, not stupid, but just be humble sometimes. Yeah, I mean, the problem didn't create itself overnight. It's not going to fix itself overnight. But I think having dialogue is important.
Right.
So
that's what I think the topic we're trying to get at. Are you saying, the word? Yeah, it is a catchphrase. Conservative. That's hard to pronounce for me. I'll just call you hood. But he's blaming the man on everything that sets us back, right? Not sets us up back, right, Chris?
Yeah, us. I think it's us.
Is that what it is? I don't know. I don't know whether victimhood mentality is blaming the man all the time. You saying it sets us back as a people? I don't. No, Jessica, you saying that? You're trying to say the athlete in the movie star mentality doesn't hit everybody. The black president had a black wife. Some other people, but yeah, it's been noticed, huh? It's been noticed over the years. So what is
allow ourselves to let stumbling blocks hold us from being great?
So I think almost
that's the victimhood mentality.
Yeah, so that's us as a people, then, as opposed to us within relationships, right? We're talking kind of two different things. But like I said, for us to move together as a people, our relationships between black men and women, need to be solid, or certainly, in some sort of unified direction.
All right. Well, hold off on the chat. Ali's here. I want to play his trailer first and then bring him on. Is that okay, Eric?
Yeah, let's rock it.
Okay.
You can live with someone and not know who they really are. I was not with another woman.
Oh, don't act like it would be the first time.
I have an assignment for you.
What's the assignment, Doc?
I'm sending you on a staycation.
I go out in the nighttime. Rules? What kind of rules?
We both can't leave the house for any reason at all. And we both get a day to plan 3 activities.
We here for your sexercise session.
Sexercise.
Yeah, lean in again. Yeah.
Oh, don't start stretching me, baby.
I like my walls. They make me feel safe.
I mean, you so caught up in your job, you never focus on me.
I have goals. I have ambitions.
You gonna make breakfast?
Is there a problem?
You might be trying to poison me.
Hope you're ready for a great workout.
Come on, come on. She probably been waiting to do that for a long time.
I have been waiting so long to do that.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, it is.
Well, with us is Ali Abdin, who is let me get it straight, the co-writer, co-producer, co-director of Staycation. Welcome, Black. You were here last week, but you need a late pass. But we got a chance to talk and meet last week off camera. But it's because of the time difference, right? Where are you located?
I'm actually in Houston, so I took
okay.
I flipped it backwards. I forgot you all were an hour ahead. I thought it was the other way, but
it's okay. We got the pot boiling for you. I don't know if you've seen these chat things. We're heating it up with the topic: can Black men and Black women unify? So
might kind of set you up with that one, Ali.
You have a romantic drama. What's your take on that question, and then we'll address the chat as well.
I definitely believe Black men and women can unify, but I think it's more of a specific question of in what context do you mean can Black women and Black men unify? And the reason why I say that is because Black men and Black women are different in so many ways. So there are certain things that we're supposed to be unified on, and then there are certain things that we are supposed to do as Black men and they are supposed to do as Black women. And I don't think those things are supposed to be intermixed and intermingled, because we each have our own important roles in our communities that we as Black men and Black women can only do as a Black man and as a Black woman separately, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
tell while we're resetting the conversation with Ali Abdin, how do you say your last name?
Abdin. Yeah. So think Muhammad Ali, like the fighter, and Abdin, just the way it's spelled, ABDIN.
No help whatsoever on that last name. You just wanted to shout out Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who doesn't want to shout out the greatest?
No. But tell folks about Staycation. I mean, we just saw the trailer, but I mean, what inspired you to make it, and what's the premise about?
So Staycation is a film about a husband and a wife who have gone through the gauntlet as far as marriage is concerned, and right now they're pretty much at the end of their rope, and so is their marriage counselor. He realizes and sees that what's going on between them cannot be fixed inside of a room with them and he. So he sends them on their final homework assignment, because for those of us who have been through marriage counseling, we know that counselors give homework assignments for the couples to come back with on the next session to be able to work out and talk about. But he gives them their final homework assignment because he's done with them. And he lets them know, you have to go on a staycation. You got to spend 3 days in this house together alone, planning activities for each other that you each like to do. And at the end of those 3 days, you have to make a decision. Either you're going to stay together or you're not. And through the course of their staycation, they come to realize what the actual reason is that they are where they are in their relationship. And, it's a twist and a turn for them as well. So as far as the story, where it comes from, was the premise. I've been married. I am married. My brother is married, who is my writing partner. My older brother is married. My parents have been married for, I think, about 46 years. And all of our friends, if have been married, are married as well, or either in long-term relationships. So the things that Kyle and Dawn in the film are going through, these are not things that people who have been in relationships are not used to either dealing with or have come in contact with before. So the film is universally a relationship film, and a film that's based on communication across all races and colors, because everybody who is in a relationship deals with something. You know, it may not be these specific topics, but everyone deals with something. So my brother and I wanted to create a film that would resonate, you know, in reality with real people who go through real things with their, you know, significant other, whoever their significant other may be.
Well,
So
great.
that's where it
Great
came
story. Well made film. Great cast.
Yeah.
One of the questions in the chat: where have I seen the actress before? And I recognized her, but
Yeah.
I didn't place it until halfway through the movie. But can you answer that question for Chris?
Yeah, that's Jennifer Freeman. She actually got her start on My Wife and Kids with Damon Wayans and Tisha Campbell. She played Claire, I think was her name in the series. She was the middle child. And then she went on to do films like what was the one with Omarion, the dance film? You Got Served. She was in that, and she's done a few films for BT as well. So yeah,
that's cool. And is she based in Houston now, or how did you manage to get her?
She's actually based in Los Angeles. The lead actor, Shelton Jolivette, who is based in Houston, he actually worked on a project with her in 2020, in the year that we shot the actual film. Okay. And he suggested her as, you know, for her to play lead in the film. So we reached out to her, and she said, yeah, she'd love to do it. And the rest is history. Yeah.
That's great. That's fantastic. You know, it's interesting that you talked about, there's so many examples in your family with you and people that you know, relationships, marriages that are long term.
Right.
And that's one of the topics we were talking about before you came on. You know, how does that relationship between men and women work, and also have on the added burden or added blessing of being American, right? What we've had to deal with in this country collectively, right?
Right.
And so that I was suggesting, and I think you might have touched on it too, that there's the human aspect of it, relationships, and then the work we need to do together and how we need to come together. But it's an undue pressure, unfortunately, because we've been an oppressed group in this country, right?
Right.
Something that adds on to the stress of just, like you said, going through a relationship that sometimes some people that haven't been in long-term relationships might not be aware of.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you enter into a committed relationship with another person, you know, there's an added stress level in itself. But one of the things that I tell to people who are not married and to our friends that we have, you have to go into every relationship as a complete and whole person yourself. But what end up, because you as a complete whole person inside of your relationship should be a complete circle or a whole, right? But in order to have a complete circle or a whole, you have to have complete halves. You are one complete half, and your significant other is the other complete half. Now, the part that's always missing when it comes to relationships and people in relationships is that while you're in that relationship, you have to sometimes overcompensate for what your significant other is lacking at that time. Now, it's not always something that they're lacking, but it could be something financial. It could be mental. It could be emotional, because we all lose jobs, and our significant other may have to carry the burden, you know, for a certain amount of time until we get back to where we need to be so we can be whole again. Those are the things that I'm talking about. Or when we go through states of depression and we go through bouts of our own personal issues and angsts and anxieties and those kinds of things, we are lesser of that half. So our significant other or our other half has to overcompensate to fill that void that we're missing. And I think that's what a lot of us in relationships fail to realize and understand, that it's not always a 50-50 thing. It's supposed to be 100 and 100. 100% of me, 100% of you. We give that to each other. And sometimes I have to give 120% because my wife is only at 80. You know what I mean? And sometimes she may have to give 130% because I'm only at 70. And that's the portion that we miss as individuals, because we feel like, we shouldn't have to do those kinds of things in a relationship, but that's all a part of it.
Mm. No, I really enjoyed the film, and in a lot of ways, I know it's part of a genre of Black romantic comedies that, like you said, you'll see this type of film on BET. This movie streams exclusively on All Black. But I like this one because it didn't have like a crazy best friend or some sort of like hood character to try to be the comic relief or anything. It really dealt really specifically once they're in the house together with what that story is.
We did that on purpose as well. We didn't want it to have the same formulaic feel to it, that our black romantic comedies have. We wanted to be more character based and based on what's going on with the leads. And the comic relief that's in it are all people that flow in and out of the home, but it's still based on them.
Right. But it doesn't, like, it seems like so much of the content, entertainment, things that are geared to Black audiences try to serve the lowest common denominator with that. We're constantly fighting to get eyeballs on what we're trying to say. But we're also intent not to bottom feed or troll the audience. I mean, so we're here to have a serious conversation, obviously, but let's go back a little bit. Talk because there are also filmmakers watching. Talk about how you got involved in film specifically, and this is your second feature project, correct?
Yeah.
So talk about that journey, can you?
So I've been acting since I was 3 years old. So film and performing stage and TV film has always been my passion. So from a young age, I knew this was all that I wanted to do. So growing up, I was in stage plays and I was in child theater and did a lot of commercials and I was doing movies and those kinds of things when I was younger. And around the time when I went to, I was getting ready to graduate middle school, I attended NOCA, which is the New Orleans Center for Creative Arts in New Orleans. And that's where I really started to hone down my acting ability. And once I graduated high school, I went to college, Southern University in Baton Rouge, and I majored in theater and performing arts. So that's where my training in film and in theater, mainly theater, came from. But my younger brother, ALI ABDIN, actually is the one who taught me everything that I know about the behind the scenes part of film, the behind the camera part of film, story and structure and writing when it comes to creating a story, what your characters should be, how you should introduce characters, how the form of your story should be. All of those kinds of things started with my brother, and he graduated from Southern University as well in mass communications, but he decided that he wanted to go to Los Angeles Film School to major in film. So he went there, and in 2008 he graduated, and that's when we shot our first short film called Hopeless. And Hopeless is a short film about a family who gets their lives are decimated by Hurricane Katrina, which is kind of an ode to my brother and my sister-in-law. The characters are based off of them. And that's when we shot our first short film in 2008. It was actually his senior thesis for when he graduated from film school. And from there, in 2010, we did our second short film called The Answer. And after we did the short film, that's when we shot our first feature film, Forgive and Forget, which is actually out on Tubi right now and on several other platforms. And it's called Forgive and Forget. It's starring myself and an actress called Ashley Hogan, who's based out of Los Angeles right now. The guy that plays the lead in Staycation, his name is Shelton Jolivette. He's in it. And the late, great Carol Sutton is in it as well. She passed in 2020 due to COVID. She was actually supposed to be in Staycation, but she got sick the week prior to when we started shooting.
Oh, rest in peace.
Yes, sir. Was a wonderful actress. She's been in a lot of things. And after we shot Forgive and Forget, we did our web series called My Brother's Keeper, and now we're on Staycation.
Awesome.
And we're here. Yeah, we started our film company in 2022, 2012 is when we officially started our company. So we've been owner operating for the last 10 years and just been doing everything that we can, man.
You shoot everything in the Houston area, or Houston, Louisiana area, or where's primarily?
We shoot everything here in Houston. This is our primary shooting space, because this is where we have most of our, network is here. And it's actually expensive to shoot in New Orleans. What a lot of people don't realize, it's very expensive to shoot in New Orleans. The film community there is large, and when you want to shoot in different locations in New Orleans, those locations expect you to pay the same amount that the bigger budget films pay. They don't understand the difference between ultra low budget and major film. So
they've gotten used to New Orleans, because I remember when production first started, or the technology made it possible for us to get really shoot things ourselves and be self-producing. But as you know, Ali, Louisiana, New Orleans was one of the other places outside of New York and LA that was becoming a hotbed for location, and then they were actually actively one of the first states that realized the financial benefits when you give tax credits and how it can boom through your economy. And now look over the past 10, 15 years, Houston, Texas, I mean, there's a lot of states now that are getting in on saying we're welcoming and we're filmmaking friendly. We're friendly to the industry. Even Canada, there's a lot of content that comes out of Canada that doubles Toronto or places like that. They've shot shows that they doubled them for a New York feel or a big city feel. So a lot more areas have gotten hip to the benefits of allowing, film production to go on and working with them and tax incentives and all that stuff.
Yeah, the tax incentives are great in Louisiana. It just makes it hard to shoot there because so many people are there now.
Right.
Yeah. So the scene in Houston specifically, how would you describe it as far as the Black filmmakers scene?
It's growing. I'll say that it's a small pool, but it's definitely growing. There's a lot of people out here that are filming, that are shooting. So I would like to see more of us working together, because it's almost an every man for itself type situation here in Houston. But it's not much to say about that as far as Hollywood is concerned, because it's the same way in Hollywood. We don't do much together, which is one of the things that my brother and I are aiming to change. We want to work with people, but it becomes my vision, my creativity, my instead of us, we, our. And, that separation, division.
People, I can tell you from experience, about our experience with Drop Squad, people don't realize that, as you know, making films and making TV and things like that, theater is collaborative by nature. It's a collaborative art form. And I always say the benefit of being a painter or a musician or a singer even, that you can do it just for your own love and for your own craft of it. A musician can sit down and play his music play his instrument for his own love and craft of it. A singer can sing, you know, painters can do the same thing. But our art form, our craft is presentational. You know, we're making this art to present it for a larger audience, for the public, to say to people, here's something you made, what do you think?
Right.
So just by that very nature, you got so many different heads that are all working to tell this one story in the same direction. Is, you know, a practice in I wouldn't say democracy, because, you know, film sets on a democracy. The director is the dictator, the director, the producer, or the dictator. But it still is, you know how it is. When you got a good crew, you let everybody do their thing. You know, let everybody make their contribution. You know, and I think the best filmmakers are in various departments. You give them a vision, your idea, like we talked to you. I mean, elaborate on that, because we started this conversation a little bit before about the script and the writing and how you feel about the performances people do, whether they, you know.
Well, film in itself is a collaborative effort, just like you said. There's no way that one person can make a film alone on their own. It is impossible to do. So with that, you have to be, if you're the director or if you're the producer, you have to be willing to allow the other creatives that you have hired to be able to do what they do best, which is be creative. You know? So with us, as with me and my brother, with our scripts, for example, we don't expect our actors to read line by line, word for word, because our scripts are more of a structure or an outline for how the scene is supposed to go. As long as the actors are feeding each other what they need to be fed in order for the emotion and the objective of the scene to be carried across, we're fine if words are missed or those kinds of things, as long as the emotion of the scene is carried. And that's part of allowing the actor to be an actor, to give you those gems and those things that you don't get just from writing. You know, it's those things that you are allowed to be able to be created organically inside of that environment. And the only time those things can actually happen is when your talent feels comfortable, when your crew feels comfortable, and everybody is working on the same accord towards the same goal.
Right.
The chat's moving, Eric. I don't know if there's anything you want to pick out here.
I was really just tuning into what Ali said. I'm just going to encourage some of y'all to see the film, to watch the film, because I see some people making some comments, you know, about stereotypical. I saw somebody, you got to watch the film, y'all. That's why we're saying all this stuff, so to pique your interest, so you can see if it is the stereotypical film that you're trying to say, or if it's going to show you something. You know what I'm saying, Ali? So we got some little hot comments there. I want to make sure.
Really?
That's why we want y'all to see the film. You got to check it out.
Yeah.
It might not be what you think it is before you get all.
That's actually one of the most common comments that we've received about the film. That it's not what I thought it was going to be. It's not the stereotypical film. It kept me thinking. It kept me wondering what was going to happen next, because it's not what you think it's going to be, you know. And that is one of the things,
right, to avoid the stereotypes. Now, I mean, but I mean, you're typically aware of these stereotypes. I mean, why do you think they persist?
I think the stereotypes persist because that is what the quote unquote powers that be has portrayed as the way that we are as a people. And we've accepted that. So to us, that's the norm. And for change to happen, it's uncomfortable for a lot of people to see change. You know what I mean? To see things differently, to see us as a people who can do other things outside of act ratchet and cuss each other out and want to fight and you know, call each other different names and treat our women badly and all of those kinds of things. You know, that has been the stigma that has been placed on us as a people. And it's up to us, the people who have the ability to be able to tell stories that change that that perception of us, it's our responsibility to do so, because
Shay.
we carry that weight upon us as filmmakers. And my brother and I, we view ourselves as filmmakers that tell real stories about real people. And the only way that we can do that is if we do exactly what that is.
Who are some of your inspirations?
In film or period in life?
I'd say in film. And
Okay.
then we can go back to Muhammad Ali.
Well, honestly, in film, one of my biggest inspirations is Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
What a lot of people don't know about Eddie Murphy is that he is an extreme introvert. He is this character, and he plays larger than life characters, and he can imitate almost anybody. But if you ever get to meet him, or you ever are around him, you know that he's a thinker. He's a person who enjoys intellectual conversation, and he's one of the first directors, or one of the first filmmakers to have an all-black cast when it wasn't happening. And he made it seem like it was everyday life. And what I'm speaking about is the film Boomerang.
Mm-hmm.
Boomerang was an all-black cast, but a lot of people don't know that. And the setting of the film Boomerang was based in a marketing world, which is somewhere where we do not normally tread. As far as, being the forefront and the heads of those corporations and those kinds of things. So Eddie Murphy is one of my biggest inspirations, as far as storytelling and things of that nature. And I honestly, I really enjoy Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
And I enjoy Quentin Tarantino because of the way that he tells his stories, and the fearlessness that he has to tell the stories that he wants to tell, the way that he wants to tell them. And I know those are extreme spectrums, but I would say that those are definitely my top at the top of the list for me as far as inspiration is concerned.
Great writer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Eric away for a second. That's cool. So,
yeah.
Tarantino and Eddie Murphy are my touchstones as well.
For
a lot of the same reasons, quite frankly. So
right.
So I love it. Now, so you're a transplant from
New Orleans.
New Orleans. So you encountered the hurricane and all that. You grew up during all that.
Yeah, I did. In August 29th, 2005, Hurricane Katrina pretty much decimated New Orleans, and my brother and I, we rode 8 hours to Baton Rouge, which normally takes about 45 minutes to get to from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. And we all stayed in a 2-bedroom apartment, my brother and myself, my parents, my aunts and uncles, my grandmother, and a few of us. It was about 10 or 12 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment. We stayed for about a week.
Oh my gosh.
I said, I'm gonna go to Houston. I have a cousin that was out here, and he was in the entertainment industry at the time doing music. And, I said, I think I'm gonna try my hand out here. So I came out here, and because I first started out doing music, I was a singer and songwriter. And Houston at that time was booming. They had Destiny's Child coming out of Houston. They had all the Rap-A-Lot records. They had, Bun B and Pimp C and Mike Jones and Slim Thug and Paul Wall and Chamillionaire. All of those people were exploding at that time. So I felt like Houston was the place to go if I was trying to pursue my music and those kinds of things. And once my brother went to film school, music kind of slid to not necessarily the back burner, but it's simmering. because film and acting has always been my first love. It's just the opportunities for music were more abundant in regards to what I wanted to do versus film. So, and I've been here since 2005.
Oh. Well, so you never went back?
No, I never went home. I've been here since 2005.
So like on MapQuest, it was just water where you were living.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that just shows the resilience of the human spirit.
Yeah.
We got to see our boy Bots, Bots World music.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's when I met Bots. I actually met Bots in 2005. I came to Houston in September of 05, and I met Bots in November of 05. And we've been, tight, thick as thieves since 05. He's done all the music on every single one of our projects. And I actually just directed a music video for an artist that's on the Cookout album in LA on Friday that just passed.
Nice.
So,
Staycation Bots is a music producer that we know through the Clubhouse, Eagles Room. That's where Ali and I met, and with artists and people that are changing ideas and helping each other, and a place to network with people. So that's what we kind of hope to do here: help a lot of people understand and just have discussions. I'm sorry, I'm just reading part of the chat. I'm seeing people Chris talk about Daughters of the Dust and Eve's Bio. Those were great films. I want to circle back to Eddie, as you talked about him, Ali, because I know Eddie a little bit too. And he did open a lot of doors in terms of, making an all-black cast, when he got to of where he could, demand that to be done, is just stop being the black guy in the movie.
Right.
There was a different swagger in terms of comedians, Ed's swagger as the comedic relief was different than, say, Rich's swagger, or different than some other people that try. It was more like a shit talking, I'm going to whoop your ass type of thing, as opposed to, kind of the comedic, almost scary type of black guy. Right. With that bad, and at the time, hip hop was just jumping out there too, rap. So it was the perfect blend. His characterization was the perfect, perfect type of character that needed to come along at that time, right?
Right.
You talk about a lot of young brothers like yourself. You're a little bit younger than me, and watching people being influenced by him. That's the main thing, and it was not a thing that only appealed to African American audiences, right?
No, it appealed across the board to everybody.
You watch some of them something like Raw or some of them concert movies. You see how many fans, white and black, that Eddie Murphy had, because it was that dude swagger.
Definitely. I've watched every single one of his films. It's not a film that I haven't watched.
Wait a second now. I gotta quiz you on this. Are you sure?
Go ahead.
Pluto Nash, you've actually sat and watched?
I watched Pluto Nash. I actually watched it a few times.
You're better than me. All right.
I watched it a few times.
I relinquish my crown, my Eddie Murphy superfan crown.
Rosario actually did a
1,000 words. You sure?
I watched 1,000
words. Yeah.
Mr. Church.
Watched Mr. Church.
Sure?
Watch Mr. Church.
I truly feel like he was robbed of his Oscar from Dreamgirls.
Yeah, I agree.
And the reason why is because Norbit dropped the month before the Oscars.
I agree with that.
Norbit is funny to me.
Norbit is hilarious.
Ed, if you like Ed and doing all them characters, genius. I went to the premiere of Nutty Professor. Genius. Everybody in the place with this guy. Incredible.
Yeah.
And if you like that type Ed's work when he does those characterizations, because, Ali, the best comedians are also good actors.
Yeah.
And if you see them, the dramatic work he did in Dreamgirls, people don't think Richard Pryor was a dramatic actor. You got to watch Blue Collar. Slow down, and so, I'm sorry, Mike, you were going to say?
No, I was going to say, at one point I was working on an article. I was arguing that Norbit is the blackest movie Hollywood has ever produced. It is so gully. and that was somebody in Hollywood, a white man, wrote a check for Norbit to exist. So.
Man, but Norbit is a hilarious movie. Like, it is extremely funny.
I watched it with one eye open. It's embarrassing.
I'll give you a quick story. My wife and I, because Norbit is actually rated PG-13. I don't know how it got away with a PG-13 rating.
Yeah.
But it's PG-13. So my wife and I took our sons to go see Norbit.
Mm-hmm.
But when we got into the theater and the film started to play, we was just like, oh no. And we would have to cover their eyes and all that kind of stuff. Wait, you can't see it. Because I didn't think that it was going to
get us,
skate that line of R and PG-13, you know. But I still enjoy it.
That's Charlie Murphy writing that screenplay.
Yeah. Charlie Murphy is hilarious, man. He's hilarious.
Yeah, and Charlie's his delivery, just like yeah.
Rest in peace to Charlie. Charlie, that was actually one of Eddie's favorite impressions to do. His brother.
Right. You know, the bit that Ed used to practice in the school auditorium. Charlie was standing in the back like, "You crazy, man."
Yeah.
So impressions. This is the crazy thing, because Mark Corey, one of Eddie's good friends, who ran Eddie's TV production company and produced, it was one of the showrunners on the Royal Family, Red Fox's last job.
Yeah.
Went to Hampton. He was a few years behind us and was in school with my sister. But you know, I would hear these stories, you know, about Ed, and you see Ed do Charlie, right? You think he can't possibly really be that way. You're like, and then when you actually meet Charlie,
he really is.
How he talks. Yeah. He's that gangster, you know.
Yeah, Eddie. He attributes his success in comedy and film to his brother.
Yeah,
because he actually influenced him and encouraged him to do his first stand-up gig. That was at a Gong show. I think it was in New Jersey or in New York.
Right.
And he told him to go and do the impressions of Richard Pryor, go and do the Stevie Wonder impression, and go win the $25. And he did it, and he won. Yeah. So, you know, he attributes his success to his brother.
Yeah. Dreamgirls was something that he was kind of robbed of, but I also liked Dolomite. You know,
I did too.
I really liked Dolomite. I saw another example of Ed doing some serious, dramatic work.
Right.
I'm an old head. I had an older brother who grew up during that era, Superfly era, and all them cats wearing them wide brim hats, and that was the thing. You know, a little thugged out a little bit, some of them, you know, but so I dug that whole, you know, the whole Dolomite riff, you know. Cats my brother's age would do the whole Dolomite run, like you might do Eddie's run when you're talking to people, or I might do Richard's run, you know, one little impressions. And so I about Dolomite, you know, way back then.
Yeah, he did a
signifying monkey.
Yeah, he did a really good job with Dolomite. I know they had some Oscar buzz about it when he first dropped, but I don't even think he was nominated for Dolomite. But
talk about you, Ali. You know, switch to Oscar talk. I mean, what do you think of awards? Like, where do your films typically show, and ultimately, what is your goal from being an independent Black filmmaker to the sky's the limit? Like, what's your 5-year, 10-year plan? I guess is the question.
Well, for us, in regards to awards, we really don't think about awards, making films for awards and those kinds of things. We feel like that's a happenstance thing. If our films are nominated for awards or they win awards, it's just because we feel like we created a good film. That's not the goal. That's not what we're looking to achieve. What we're looking to achieve 5-10 years down the line is, one, to continuously be making very good films for people to be able to watch and enjoy. And we also, 10 years from now, want to be at a point to where we can actually assist independent filmmakers to be able to make their own films, because what a lot of people don't understand and realize about independent film is that it is extremely hard to do. And the reason why is because of the financial aspect.
Right.
Making independent film and trying to gain financial support for those films is extremely difficult. We've self-financed all of our films, all of our projects we've self-financed. And it's not because we've wanted to, it's because we have not been able to acquire the funding outside of ourselves. So we've had to do it on our own, which is not an easy task at all. It's many films that get started and don't finish because they don't have the financial support to be able to carry the film over the finish line. And if for the independent filmmakers that are here, they really have to understand that deliverables are important when it comes to having your film get licensed or get picked up by a network or to go to theaters or, television or whatever. You have to be able to finish the film. So for us, what one of the goals that my brother and I have is to be able to assist independent filmmakers in being able to fund their visions and fund their films so they can make more. Because for us, that is one of the things that we've always tried to achieve and attain, to be able to get funding for our own films. So 10 years from now, making more films and supporting independent filmmakers on making theirs.
I love it.
Yeah. Also, I like the fact that there are filmmakers, independent filmmakers like yourself, that are willing to help more. I like the fact that we're changing the media narrative of Black people and Black stories.
Definitely.
Our image. Because even if just the image itself of proliferating in our society, when I was a kid, a little older than you guys, Black people being on TV, you got to call everybody from upstairs. Whole house, Black folks on TV. I grew up watching Little Rascals and shows like that. Was born just past when Amos and Andy was actually on TV, if you can believe that. But some of those images that we had to look at, if you didn't have those strong Black images in your house or weren't exposed to them by your parents, by your community, that was what they were putting out about us to a certain degree. That's why, unfortunately, the downfall of Bill Cosby, but he came on the scene, and I Spy and Chet Kincaid, the first Bill Cosby show, and Fat Albert. And for the young Black boys and even the girls probably at that time, he was that guy.
Right.
He was that certainly Black man carrying a gun the first time on network TV was never seen. So step of the way, all of those images and causing those old images to fall away, and we know that back in the day they had to do what they had to do, but also you had Oscar Micheaux and a lot of people. There was a thriving Black community that was doing those films, and they were going through those same trials and tribulations back then, as you know. So the fact that there's more of us in each decade, each generation, changing the narrative just to have those images out there,
right,
that can balance the negative ones. Because we got a lot of everybody, you go on some of these sites, a lot of cats want to make gangster, fire in the hood and all that,
right?
And fortunately, we make enough where we can kind of balance it a little bit, but still,
yeah. And that lane is actually about to be wide open. Well, it's already wide open because Blackish has gone off the air. So with Blackish being gone, the Black family comedy for television is gone now. We don't have it.
Right.
So that lane is wide open for whoever is going to be allowed to do.
Right.
So I think there's a huge opportunity right now for that on television because they only allow one at a time.
I still believe that. Let's dig into that one.
The neighborhood.
Definitely. I want you to think about this. When My Wife and Kids was on the air, what was the other Black family TV show that was on any network at that time?
At that point, I don't think there was one.
Right.
If there was one either.
Right now with Blackish. Now, when Blackish was on the air, what other network television show that was based around a nuclear black family, successful nuclear black family, is on the air or was on the air?
Okay, I see where you're going. All right. Okay, no, I was gonna say the one at a time is spread out more because there are more platforms. So each platform has their one. But
I don't think
you raise a good point in terms of depicting family. We don't get very many opportunities to see that at all. So
I don't think
somebody's saying all of us, but that's a drama, right?
Yeah. I don't think we have black family.
Which one was all of us?
All of us was Will Smith and Jada Pinkett's show that was on UPN.
Right.
It was on UPN, but UPN was your urban network. That's why it's called UPN.
And Bernie Mac was not a traditional nuclear family. It was a modified family.
Exactly. But it was so, and Bernie Mac wasn't on when My Wife and Kids was on either. Bernie Mac
came on after.
It came on after. Yeah.
Huh. Maybe just after, right?
Right.
I'm gonna think.
Right.
Oh, I gotta double check the word.
I think it is some, because every network doesn't have a black family show.
Right. That's what
Every network doesn't. So you may have
but they have a black creator.
They'll have a black creator, but usually every network doesn't. I mean, if you think about it, when was Fox's last black family show?
Other than it just got canceled.
What?
Not necessarily a family. That's more like a dynasty show. You know that one. People like
Empire.
People like us. Well, Empire too, but People Like Us. But those were shows based around a kind of
People Like Us. That was Fox.
Yeah.
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 Our kind of people.
Our kind of people. I'm sorry, People Like Us.
Okay.
But that was based around the drama created.
Right. And that wouldn't be considered a family show, because kids can't watch our kind of people.
Right.
Like you wouldn't sit down as a family and eat dinner and watch Our Kind of People.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Right. So you got to go back. I mean, Fox's model has shifted in the past decade. So
I think that is true. That you have not seen another show about just a family at the same time. It's always if there was one on one network, and that was it.
Yeah. So it's all about the programming and what is made for us, allowed for us to see on television.
We got to change that, folks. Whoever's watching.
Yeah, we definitely have to change that. We need to be given the opportunity to be it, because all of the shows that come on about nuclear black families, they're all successful. Right. There have been many that haven't been, and I think the reason why they're all successful is because we yearn for that kind of programming as a people.
Right.
We want to be able to see ourselves in a different light than what's being fed to us. But
right. Talk about the PJs. The PJs wasn't a nuclear family though. It wasn't.
No, he was the super, and he had his wife in the
It was hilarious for a minute.
No, it was definitely funny. I enjoyed it.
Well, there's a precursor to the Bernie Mac show. If you look at that,
right,
and you look at the Bernie Mac show, it's almost the same setup.
Yeah. I enjoyed the PJs though.
Parker's again, not nuclear families.
Nope.
You know, when we say nuclear family, we mean a mother and father with children in the household.
Yeah. Parker's was about a single mother and a child and a daughter who did their antics with, whoever the professor was, and all of those things. But we talking about the actual black family.
Right.
So it's a hard image to get. So
it definitely is.
We got about 5 minutes left. I don't know if anybody wants to jump on and ask a question, but I'm going to ask again, if there are any questions in the chat. Besides, what's going on with BET? They cursed on BET now. That's all I noticed. They let them curse.
BET is also owned by Viacom, so they have their own agendas and things that they have to, do for themselves. It's not a Black owned network, so they're not working in the best interest of us.
Right.
For
Chris says, I don't think we sit in front of TV as a family anymore. That's a last century style. But I mean, I think it also begs to the need to have certain images. We just don't get them now. Maybe white folks don't get them either, because the nature of things have changed so much. But I think that when we don't have successful images of successful Black people, we tend to model ourselves after whatever's in front of us, and it's the same thing as what we put into our bodies. If we live into neighborhoods, you talk about food deserts and places where you can't get quality nutrition available to you. I think that the media companies are just as liable and just as bad as those who allow Black neighborhoods to suffer through having inadequate food distribution in their areas. So, we're making the argument that there need to be more movies like Staycation, which is on all Black, that model not necessarily healthy relationships, but showing how to heal and create a healthy relationship among Black people. So that was the nature of the chat. Can we find unity? And I think a movie like Staycation gives us an opportunity to see what healing is about, what communication is about, all the things that we talked about at the beginning of the conversation, in terms of how do we heal ourselves, how do we heal our communities, So this is one that popped up before you got in the room.
Yeah, for those of us that if you actually watch the movie, you'll actually be able to see a healthy relationship between a husband and a wife, which is, is very intentional. And most people actually don't see that portion of it because it is a part of the comic relief of the film. But their reasoning for being in the film is more than just the funny. It just so happens that they are the funny, but they are there to show the opposition of what the lead characters are.
Right. Well, let me go to BJ. As long as we don't have any real control of the industry. Well, we're talking to a man who has taken control within his own hands and made a film independent of the system, which was the #1 movie streaming on all Black network.
That's
the past 2 months
with the streaming service, with different platforms, technology, the internet. That has given us that opportunity for us to really kind of have somewhat control and make projects and have distribution to our community, right?
Yep.
So Ali, where can people find this movie? I mean, like, a lot of people don't know All Black necessarily. So teach us how to get to the film.
Yeah, All Black Network you can find it on any mobile app device. You can find it on any smart television, and it's actually a subsidiary of AMC, of the AMC network. So AMC owns, a plethora of different platforms, but All Black is their urban channel. So you can get it on any Android, iPhone, any smart television, and it's called the All Black Network, ALLBLK network.
So a Roku stick, a Fire Stick,
everywhere you can get it everywhere. It's on every single platform.
And what was the response to Staycation?
Staycation was the #1 film running for 9 weeks, and right now it's the most watched film on the platform for the entire year. The film dropped in February.
Wow.
It's the most watched film on the network.
Congratulations. Well, I hope that means they're going to give you another opportunity.
Well, that's the plan. That is the plan. That is the goal. And we're speaking it into existence. We actually are working on some things with them now. So we are prayerfully and putting it out into the universe that is going to be what is coming next. So just be looking out for some things.
Fantastic. Any final questions, Eric? I mean,
no, man. I'm just anytime a filmmaker gets it done, you know, get
Yes.
the project done, go through the whole process. You know, we are all of us that are trying to call ourselves filmmakers or writers or whatever. We know that process is an arduous process and it's a difficult process, and you have to be committed and consistent. And I respect the fact that you and your brother, you have a partner with you, and you guys have been, you know.
One of the things for us is there's a certain point of no return. Once you get to a certain point when you're making a film, you cannot go back.
That's right.
You have to finish.
Yes.
You have to, because there is no quitting. You will have essentially put more money into the film and have taken a larger loss by quitting.
That's right. Go through that.
Going through it and finishing the film.
That's right.
You know, and we've done two. So and we're not looking to stop anytime soon.
I feel you.
Love it. Any words of advice for those that are going to follow in your footsteps?
Don't take no for an answer. Anybody that tells you can't do it, that means they're afraid to do it. Don't quit, because the only time you actually fail is when you stop doing it.
Right.
And the last thing is develop the toughest skin as possible, because you are going to hear no consistently and constantly all the time. No has to be, hearing the word no has to be like breathing and blinking your eyes. It's part of living. And once you get to that point, then understand that if you are the quote unquote boss or producer, you get your money last on independent films. Everybody else gets paid and you don't. So if you're not willing to work for free until your film makes money, don't do it.
That's right. Hey man, it might not happen, y'all. If you're doing this for fame and riches,
you're doing it for the wrong reason.
For the wrong reason. You better love this shit.
Yeah. You have to.
Love this shit.
You have to.
You got to do.
Because when you on set and people see you writing checks, oh, you the boss, you the boss. Why? Because I'm writing a check. Right. I'm not writing one to myself.
Right.
I'm writing it to everybody else.
That's right.
You know, I'm spending money. I'm not making money. And you know, that's one of the mindsets that we as independent filmmakers have to understand. We are the first to pay and the last to get paid.
That's right.
And you have to go into it with that mindset. Project over everything.
It is.
Congratulations.
My brother.
I appreciate it.
Staycation, and you know, Staycation 2 I'd love to see as well. So
we are actually thinking about that.
You might have a franchise.
Staycation with a group of a couple of couples up in the house, bro.
We were actually thinking about pitching a TV show for John and Jesse.
Okay.
Yes, because you stole the show right there. You came in, you know, stealing the scene. I saw what
crazy.
Wait, let me see if I can pull it up. We're winding it down. Let me see if I can.
Both of y'all work really, you and that sister's.
Well, hang on.
You can live with some.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah, crazy story is I was actually not supposed to play that role. I was actually not supposed to play that role. The guy that we casted to play this role, he did not show up the day we were supposed to shoot.
What?
Ouch.
Now this is the last day of shooting, the last scenes of the film that we had to shoot. So if we didn't get these scenes, we wouldn't have been able to complete the film.
Wow.
So my brother says, "Hey man, you're gonna have to play this role." And I told him, I said, "Man, I don't want to do this." And he said, "Bro, you got to do it. So you're the only person that can do it. You're here. You know all of the beats that he has to hit. You know the motivation of the scene. You know how to work well with actors. It's a no-brainer. You got to do it." And I said, "All right, man, I guess I got to do it." And I met the actress that morning. And her first question to me was, "So what can I do?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "You know, what can I do? What is what's my my boundaries. I said, you don't have boundaries. I said, you got free reign to play. Let's play.
And you guys played well together, man.
And that's what you got. And she was like, really? I said, yes. She said, oh, thank you. I love that. And
she was really good. Knowing that, she was really good. And the fact that you guys came together and went for it, that's what you call pros. For real.
It made her that much more comfortable so that she could actually pour into the character.
Right.
It came out very well.
Yeah.
Oh man, now I need a director's commentary. Oh, I hate streaming.
Yeah.
I need a director's commentary for this movie now. It sounds like it was a lot of fun to make.
It was.
How long did it take to shoot? I won't ask you budget, but how long did it take to shoot? And then
It took us 8 days to film this.
No way. Okay.
8 days. 8 days. Yeah, but the majority of the film was shot at the Staycation house.
Right.
And we were able to use certain locations to double for different places. So we only had to move company maybe 3 or 4 times throughout the entire process, which was actually better for us.
So the office scenes were different locations.
The office scene, yeah, they were doubled. We had different because it was in a large office building, but we had an entire floor to ourselves to be able to shoot. Shout out to our location scout and our locations manager. They were able to find this place that had an entire empty floor in an office building that we were able to rent and shoot in. Wow. So it allowed us to be able to get those different looks of the offices without us having to leave, which saved us on time, which saves money.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
And social media tags for both you guys. I want to put them on the screen.
Okay. So for me, it's my Instagram is 1500 Entertainment LLC. My Facebook is Ali Abdin. My brother is Aaron Abdin on Instagram, and he's Aaron Michael on Facebook. And our website is 1500entertainment.com.
Abdin.
Typing all that in, Mike?
I'm just throwing it up real fast. Yes.
Yeah, you getting it. There you go.
Yes, sir.
So those you just want to Google those names and follow.
And
make sure you follow everybody.
Yeah.
And follow me at Reelblack. And Eric.
I'm at Eric Payne _ Freedom Fighter, and visit my IMDb if you will, so I can get my star meter up a little bit. Ali knows. And Off the Beaten Path on YouTube, you guys, and Hackerish. Check out my buddy Mike too.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right.
Ali,
I appreciate you, man.
glad you finally did this. Glad you we got the time right.
I got the time right this time.
It worked out. We had a very active chat. So in closing, I guess we can heal ourselves if we make more movies and watch more movies and support movies like Ali's movie Staycation, which reflects healthy relationships that promote communication. Mm-hmm. I think that's my concluding thought. I don't know if you had one, Eric.
No, I think that works pretty much. The communication is the main thing. Ali wrapped it up. You said it, I think, in one kind of log line, Ali, the communication, and I forget how you put it, but I know one of the sisters there put very well said. So I think the main thing is communication with us, and also
definitely communication is key. It is key to any healthy relationship. Communication, even when you're going through it. Yeah. If you communicate, you can get through it. That's the big.
Fantastic.
And we need that in our community more than ever. So
yes, we do.
There it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the Staycation tag. So Staycation is out now, and you can get it on the All Black streaming platform, ALLBLACK.
Yeah, there's actually a 7-day free trial if you just want to go in and watch the film and sign up for the free trial.
Okay, I'll put that one up. All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you for taking the time to hang out with me on the Reelblack podcast. And let's all support one another. Peace, everyone. All right.
Later, y'all.
Sir. Appreciate y'all.